Hi everyone. So new video coming out in English. Since those in English were actually the first ones that I made in April, I haven't been making others. At the beginning actually I thought I would be making just in English, but then actually I realized that I want to talk to my people first. So that's why those in Croatian actually came first, and then I decided actually I'm going to do it in all of the languages that I speak. So if you go on the playlist of my channel, you can see that I have in Croatian, English, French and Italian. So I've been guiding for 13 years, and I told you that this information just started screaming inside of me. I felt like I needed to say it to everyone, and there it is. So the first ones, from the Yugoslav refugee to the universe, is actually where I explain how I got into this, where my interest started, because I realized that, so you heard I'm from Dubrovnik, Croatia, and you heard of the war in Yugoslavia, and even the information which you heard is presented differently, so we were all presented with different set of information. Actually, English speaking and us, we were more or less presented in the same way, but I realized that the other side, so our enemy's side, had another information. And I guess you will realize that as well. I don't know if you're from the States or wherever, European Union, if you check out the Russian news, for example, so just the other side, you will see different set of information. If you check other information about Syria and Ukraine, you will see another story. It doesn't actually matter even which one you believe. For the start, it's just important to know that we are all presented with another set of information, and that's where our misunderstanding comes from. And worse, basically, just because we are not informed or not informed in the right way, or we don't know the full truth or whatever. But the point is that we are all given another set of information. So that's actually how I started digging about a lot of stuff, and as I said, I just started falling down the rabbit hole when I realized how deep the conspiracy is. Now, whoever finds this, whatever, I told you about the conspiracy theory, and conspiracy theory, but the conspiracy is real, and that's what I'm trying to say. From our case, from my life experience, from our life experience, all of us war victims over here, I want to tell you that the conspiracy is real. And that's actually why I can't, as I said, shush anymore, because it goes into every sphere. Because you do know, they're suppressing cancer cure, so conspiracy theory. They are. Read about Anthony Rife. I mean, he has treated final cancer patients with frequencies, and he cured 70% of them. Then he just adjusted the frequency and he cured the rest of them. Now, frequency. I mean, have you forgotten? E equals mc squared. Energy is mass, or mass is energy, matter is energy, everything is energy. And I see the propaganda of the materialistic science, and I made also a lot of videos in the other languages, so this can be just the introduction a little bit to all of this stuff. Because we do know that everything is energy, but whenever you talk about something that can happen via energy, it's being ridiculed, and there. So, first of all, health. I mentioned that with energy, frequencies, okay, but placebo. All right, why is the knowledge about placebo so suppressed and also ridiculed? Placebo happens, and all of the miraculous healings are actually placebos. It happens because, well, it's actually very simple. If you just take neurotransmitters, if you take the hormones, how our feelings actually, which hormones they produce. If you're happy, you are producing happy hormones, which are healing, regenerating, growing. And if you're under stress, when we say stress, it can be fear, worry, or whatever the everyday life brings you that makes it hard, and the media, the fear, and how they make us nervous about all of the stuff, and the politicians. And if you look at the church, how the shame and the guilt. In those moments of stress, we produce hormones which are closing us and eventually killing us. They will make you sick, etc. So just if you take that, you can see how placebo works. If you make happy hormones, you will heal. So that's one of them. Money. They are telling us that the money came from bargain. Well, it didn't actually, that it came naturally. It didn't. Money was introduced actually. You are maybe informed, you heard about the Sumerian tablets. Maybe you haven't actually. If you haven't, then ask yourselves, why haven't you? Sumerians, the most ancient civilization, yes, developed civilization, our first one that left us actually a lot of information about us. And there is a translation of Zacharia Sitchin, which is, he has a lot of books, and they're under science fiction. Now, talking about the money, and in general the human creation, so this is money and religion actually together. The Sumerian tablets say that us, these humans, we were created by the gods, which came from the planet Nibiru. And they came here looking for gold because their planet's atmosphere was very polluted. And if you sprinkle gold particles, it can heal it, and that's really a scientific fact. We could do that as well with our atmosphere if needed. And they came here looking for gold, and they thought it was too much work, so they asked for their bosses to fix it, and the bosses saw that there is a race already on the planet Earth, which could be just upgraded a little bit. So they did upgraded that race to create Adamus, the first humans. And if you read the Bible, Genesis, that's exactly the same, what you're reading over there. Even the big flood is mentioned over there. And even gold is mentioned in the first rows, in the first part of the Bible, of the Genesis. And later on, they have introduced, actually, they set priests who will represent them on earth. And they were collecting gold from people, and in exchange, they were getting little clay tablets. And that's our first money, actually. If you remember, Jesus actually chased from the temple the money exchangers. That's who we're talking about. So that's how the money came into the story. That's how the church priests came into the story, church. And that's also how the royal families came into the church, into the story. Because you know that all of the old civilizations, even the Greeks and so, and the Indians, they have a story of the gods that came from heaven, and then mixing with humans, creating demi-gods as well. And that's why they were keeping the blood pure. That's why they're mixing just among themselves. And what did I wanted to say? Oh yeah, in the Bible, the word, in the old scripts, the word is actually Elohim. Elohim is plural if you speak Hebrew. Gods, not God. But I'll be talking about that as well. Now, when talking about the aliens, there is also another ridicule. So again, I'm telling you, this is propaganda. We are fool our beliefs. You might have seen that one of my videos is called Beliefs from Nanny Fine, where we heard about this So, yeah, from the Jewish community. I want to say that our beliefs, what we are being told and presented, are full of propaganda. There is somebody who is deciding what is real and what isn't, and the line, you know, what is real and what isn't. So I have said this in the other languages, and I really love it, and I will say it again. Once the dwarf in the wood was real and flying was unreal. So think about it. So when we say aliens, you know in which space we live, the universe, multiverse, whatever you want to call it, universe. And you know how vast it is. So is there a chance that we're not alone, that someone exists? Yes. Is there a chance that they are more advanced than we are? Yes. Is there a chance that they found a way to come here, even though we don't know how to get there? Just think of our technology, how much it has developed in the last 100 years, even 50. So imagine if they were so much advanced and they know how to come here. So is it possible? It is. We have the witnessings, we have entire cities, we have government people, military people telling it. There are a lot of highly ranked officers. The Canadian ex-defense officer. I noticed that a lot of people from Croatia actually are watching my videos in other languages. There are a lot of ex-Yugoslav pilots which had encounters. And if they are coming now, is there a chance that they were coming even before? And that's actually what we're talking about. So first of all, if you read the Bible literally and not allegorically as they want us to read it, it's full of high advanced technology. Sumerian tablets are full of technology. In the Vedas, in the Indian holy scripts, there are a lot of UFOs. Our prophets, when I say our, I mean Christian, Catholic prophets have encountered that. Daniel, for example, Ezechiel, and so the things they are seeing, they're explaining with animal terms. You know that the Indians, when the train came, they called it a metal horse, iron horse. So we can read all of what's remained in another way. So why are we not being told about it? Why are Zacharia's book under science fiction? You get it? So that would be about aliens. And now why is it being suppressed? Because of the technology, because we don't need fossil fuels. They are suppressing technological breakthroughs in energy generating and propulsion, which utilize new physics, not requiring the burning of fossil fuels or ionizing radiating to generate vast amounts of energy. And we have a physicist, he's an amateur, but a physicist, Nassim Haramein, I adore him. If you have some knowledge in physics, when you hear him, you will say, this guy is crazy, this makes no sense. I read a great article in Nexus, France, and he was also where Nassim was talking, and he said to the guy the same thing, and the guy said, oh, this is excellent, this is wow. And he said, like, he thought that this is just a bunch of crazy lunatics listening to Nassim Haramein. And he said, but I'm an engineer. And he was agricultural or something like that. And the guy was like even more. So, and at the end of the lecture, he approached him and told Nassim, listen, Nassim, this doesn't make any sense. And Nassim was just with a smile, gave him and said, examine. And when he examined and all, the thing is that we are still represented with the materialistic view that this is all separate. You know, even they have separated even God from us. You know, when we talk about God, if you believe and you don't believe and whatever, it's like he's somewhere else. Even the prayer, you know, the prayer, just a moment. Our Father, who art in heaven, in Aramaic, so older script, is omnipresent. He's all around us. You heard that we are all God, that God is omnipresent, and what does it mean? So I adore Nassim's interpretation that imagine our entire reality being as pixels, micropixels. And even when it seems that it's empty, it isn't empty. It's full of energy, the vacuum. You know that our universe is made of... so our physicists are focused on the material stuff. And the material is 99.99999 empty space or vacuum. But empty space is not empty, so that's why that is actually why Nassim decided to research the empty part. He said that's larger. And if you think of it, the empty space is actually what is connecting us. Great analogy, the fish in the sea or in an aquarium, are they aware of the water around them? Just like us. Are we aware of this? We see just the material visible, which is what, 4%, and we are not aware that this is something. And Nassim has some ideas. I mean, they say, oh, why doesn't he prove it? All right, maybe here in this audience there will be somebody that will figure out how to use it. Check Nassim, obligatory. But basically, the empty space is what is connecting us. And he realized that the atoms and subatomic particles, all right, he still uses also those words, but and the galaxies and I don't know, quasars and everything has a dynamics of a black hole, which is another important thing which I need to tell you, which we are also told, but you see, science is finding another language to present this all. It's a double torus. So we know that our heart is actually where the event horizon is. They even found they even found the candidate where the singularity in the heart could be. I will link a video underneath. Nikola Tesla said also everything is energy. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. So we are all emitting a certain frequency. And you heard of a law of attraction, or if you wish, radio. So what you emit, you attract, like a radio, right? You put on a certain frequency and you get that frequency. So you have low vibrational emotions and high vibrational emotions. I'm high, I'm very low, and you know. So what you emit, you attract. And that's why it's very important what we are emitting. And I told you I'll be talking about psychology. We will go to our childhood because that's where the problems were mostly created. Now, as I mentioned, what the church and the media are presenting us. So these are the topics I want to talk about because it's all upside down, a lot of propaganda, a lot of stuff, a lot of important stuff which is hidden from us, being ridiculed. But there are a lot of things that energy can do. Now let me just check what I wanted to say in this video. More or less I have mentioned what I wanted, and I will definitely go deeper in it in the next videos. So that's why I created all of this. That's why that's what I want to say. That's the message I want to spread. Because we are not understanding other people because we don't understand ourselves. So that's why I will talk more about psychology. We are constantly creating stuff and understanding. Understanding is very important. So one of the next videos will be about it. Bye, guys.